I invite
If
Dr. Harshal Sabani to speak the biodata.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's oration session of Rita Sood Memorial Oration Session and Lifetime Achievement Award. Today we have none other than Dr. Medha Joshi with us. She does not need any introduction for the people who are involved in medical education, but just as a formality, I have the honor today of introducing her once again to all of us. And her CV is very long, and I might not be able to do justice to all that she has done for medical education in India, but I'll try my best to condense her achievements in short. Madam has done her MBBS and her MD from Karnataka University, Dharwad, and Postgraduate Institute of Medical Education and Research, Chandigarh. She has completed her MHPE from the University of Illinois at Chicago,
हे नाही बघायचंय
US,
हे नाही बघायचंय
in
मी
medical
जे लावून देईन
education.
तेच बघायचंय फक्त काही पण नाही बघायचं घिरडं
Let me go and mute everybody. Otherwise, आम्हाला पण काहीतरी बघायला लागेल घाणेरडं. Okay, I've unmuted myself. In her awards and recognitions, she has an IFME fellowship by ECFMG. She is also a silver medalist, first order in MD pharmacology. And she has been awarded the International Woman of the Year in 2013 by MS Ramaiah Institute of Health and Allied Sciences, Bangalore. She has a cumulative experience of 40 years of teaching undergraduates and 10 years of teaching postgraduates. Apart from that, Madam has completed a multitude of courses, naming few important ones are the FAMER WEME distance learning courses, the ACRP trainers training course, the ITLS provider course, the ITLS advanced course, and the transition course for lead auditors from Quality Management International, Bangalore. Her long list of professional affiliations include being the head, the Department of Allied Health Sciences, Faculty of Life and Allied Health, Ramaiah Institute, Bangalore. Before that, she was Senior Professor and Director, MEU International Medical School, Bangalore, and Head Quality Assurance Cell, Gokula Education Foundation, Professor, Department of Pharmacology at Al Khums Medical College, Libya, Principal, Bill Care Research Academy, and she climbed up the academic ladder right from being a lecturer to the professor and the head of the Department of Pharmacology at MS Ramaiah Medical College, Bangalore. She has been an invited resource person to conduct workshops for more than 70 occurrences. Some other academic recognitions and fellowships are that she has been awarded an IFME, International Fellowship of Medical Education by ECFMG USA. She was the director of MEU, MS Ramaiah, and she has been the member and a guide for ethical committees all around the country at numerous institutes, and there are too many to read, but she has been a prominent figurehead about in the field of ethics as well as regulation and quality assurance in various places in India. She has been a faculty member at FAMER Regional Institute at CMC Ludhiana as well as at Coimbatore. She's also a core group member for implementation of curriculum implementation support program and a part of standard setting for accreditation at Rajiv Gandhi University, and the list goes on. Madam has 10 book chapters published, 34 national conference presentations, 6 international conference presentations, 28 national journals, and 4 international journal publications. And that's a short snapshot of our beloved, very approachable, very affectionate Dr. Medha Joshi for all of you. And I hand the reins back to Sir for the proceedings to continue.
And she has been a resource person for MEU courses, for so many MEU India courses. She is an advisor under MEU India also. And we are very grateful to her for guiding us over the years. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay, Dr. Harshal, and Dr. Tejinder for giving me this opportunity. Dr. Harshal, for all your nice words for me and keeping it short. I'm thankful to you. And Dr. Sanjay for giving me an opportunity to share my journey of medical education over the years. Now, this I'll share my screen. Is my screen visible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Audible? I'm
Audible,
audible,
okay.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, good evening. And as I said, this is going to be my reminiscence or my tryst with health professions education that I'm going to share with you all today. Before I start my journey, I would like to remember very fondly Dr. Rita Sood, who was a great friend, a very affectionate person whom I met for the first time in 2005, I think when we met for Ludhiana CMCL, before we started the CMCL Famer Regional Institute. And after that, on and off, we were meeting at various forums and have interacted with her a lot. And really, she left us at a very early age and with leaving us with all good memories of her to remember. My bhavpurna Shraddhanjali to Dr. Rita Sood. My journey began way back in 1986. Maybe some of you were not even born by then. I had just entered medical college a few years back as a lecturer, and by 86 I was an assistant professor by then. It all started then, and then next step was establishing a medical education cell at Ramaya Medical College. All my journey, most of it, what I'm talking today, is related to my journey throughout in Ramaya group of institutions, may not be in medical college alone, but Ramaya group of institutions. This was followed by more exposure to medical education at JNMC Belgaum from 1999 to 2002, which then in between I had a IFMI fellowship. Post IFMI fellowship was some activities. Then I applied for MHP, post MHP, and after I came back from MHP, there was a break of a few years. After which I joined back Ramaya as a head of the quality assurance. Then moved to International Medical School as the director of medical education unit. After that to Ramaya University of Applied Health Sciences. And that's where my medical education or health professions education journey now continues with MU India, which started with Ramaya. I would like to pay my homage to some of the mentors that I've come across. The person who introduced me to medical education way back in 1986 was Dr. Arvind Chandorkar. He was a professor of pharmacology at Sholapur Medical College, and he invited me to attend the first workshop. Though that was the 6th or 7th workshop that they were conducting, for me it was a new eye-opener altogether. Dr. D.K. Srinivas, who has been a constant support for all our endeavors, wherever we have conducted the workshops and as an advisor also. Unfortunately, Dr. Arvind Chandorkar, Dr. Les Sandlow, and Dr. Eileen Harris are not there with us anymore, but Dr. Les Sandlow and Dr. Eileen, first Dr. Sandlow and Eileen, both of them were head of the Department of Medical Education at UIC. Dr. R.R. Tekian, who was my faculty advisor for my IFMI fellowship, and I'm sure all of you recognize Dr. Bill Burdick, who was my mentor during my IFMI fellowship as well. As I said, my journey started in 1986 when I attended the NT workshop, which was conducted at Sholapur, which was on the same model as that of NTTC. It was a 8-day program, and that really opened a new vista for me to maybe experiment a few things, apply it to my own apply to my own teachings, and that's how my journey began. And in 1996, 97, sorry, when there was just a circular from MCI then saying that it is advisable to start medical education cell or medical education unit in the colleges, medical colleges. Our principal, because I had completed my training, and then we had few more people who had joined Ramaya by then and were already trained either at NTTC Pondicherry or they had some experience abroad, helped us set up a medical education unit. And once the unit was set up in 97, we then ensured that many more people, many more faculty members from Ramaya were trained either at NTTC Jipmar, Pondicherry, or at Maulana Azad Medical College, New Delhi. So with so many, maybe almost 20, 21 of us were trained by then, and we started a basic 3-day faculty development program. And this module was introduced to empower all the faculty members of the medical college. We ensured that these programs were conducted on a regular basis to empower medical faculty then. Then came my further exposure to maybe more specialized topics in medical education. And I was fortunate enough to attend one of the workshops which was conducted by JNMC just before they had this JNMC UIC collaboration. That was in 1999, and this collaboration was there for 5 years, I think, where every year they would conduct 2 workshops per year, which were of a week-long duration, and they covered various topics like curriculum planning and evaluation, which then appraisal of the clinical performance, faculty development. They also had principles and practices of evidence-based medicine. And the last one that I attended was on a medical decision making. And this really gave me, this was kind of an eye-opener, or maybe gave me, it really had me interested in knowing more about medical education, knowing more about these topics which were covered up. And during this period, while I was attending these workshops, my dean then asked me if I was interested in attending or applying for the IFMI fellowship. And during this 2001, when I applied for IFMI fellowship, this was under ECFMG then, and they were offering either 6 months or 1-year fellowship to pursue your medical education studies. And this, we had to give a university or a college where we would like to go and work or study. So obviously UIC was my choice, because by then I had met a number of faculty members from the department and was quite familiar with them. So I thought that would be a good place to start my journey. So I joined for the fellowship in May, June 2001. There, during my fellowship, I had a variety of experiences at the DME, that is the Department of Medical Education there. First, they allowed me to appear for or attend the courses which were offered. These were the elective courses which were offered for MHP then, and they allowed me to attend these courses on program evaluation, evidence-based medicine, and Q methodology, which is a part of a qualitative research method. Along with that, I also participated in student interview. This was a real great experience of interviewing the candidates who had applied for medical seat for the next year. And then they also allowed me to sit in many of the student committees to listen to the student feedback and interpret their data, what was provided there. This was really, this wasn't a part of the curriculum as such, but because I knew many of them, they permitted me to take part in many of these activities. I also completed project work there where there was a student advisors reflections or perceptions of the mentors on the students' reflections. My ECFMG fellowship culminated after 6 months with a project report where Dr. Ara Tekian, as I said earlier, was my advisor, faculty advisor, and Dr. Les Sanlo, whom we see in the second picture giving me the certificate, who was the head of the department. And my project was based on a topic that is dear to my heart, that's the assessment of UG medical students at Rajiv Gandhi University. What more can be done? And one of the very interesting things that I had suggested in this project work, was that when we have two question papers or two papers for one subject, where the the questions may not be of the equal weightage in both the question papers. And just combining those 2 marks and taking an average really does not reflect the correct way of doing it. So there was a formula as to how to balance the weighing of these papers. And this project report was submitted to Rajiv Gandhi University. I was hoping that this would be taken forward, but unfortunately, it was left at that point only. Now, this this ECFMG fellowship also gave me an opportunity to network with many other fellows. In this, the first picture on the top, many of you can identify Alberta Steen, who is sitting. Alberta. Who is sitting in the middle, and 6 of us. We were 6 fellows that year. 6 of us along with her. Here you see with Bill Burdick, and then the bottom picture shows the other dignitaries of ECFMG who were holding the posts, official posts then. Now coming back to my alma mater again, Ramaya. What did I do that I had learned in my fellowship? We tried to revise the basic training program so that it included a few of the new topics. Then we also started training along with medical faculty. We also included dental and physiotherapy faculty. And I represented MSRMC at many of various medical education forums. During this period, I applied for my MHP program, which was offered at UICDME in 2003, and then went on to complete my program on campus from 2004 to 2005. I think I completed my program at the record time of about 18 or 19 months, including presenting my thesis work. Once I completed my master's program, I was offered an adjunct faculty member position at DME, UIC. During that time, UIC was offering online ACGME competency courses, which all the residents all over US and Canada had to complete those ACGME competencies before they could get their residency program certified. So all these online programs, I was one of the faculty members who was evaluating their responses. I was also involved during this period in creating a new module for them based on the ACGME competency on ethics and professionalism. After MHP, of course, I was quite the programs when I completed my MHP. The advantage of doing it on campus was that I was able to take more than what was required number of electives. As per UIC, we had to do 4 core courses and then complete 3 electives and a thesis. But because I was on campus and there were some courses which are offered online, some courses which are offered on campus, I took both, whichever was offered at that time. And sometimes, I mean, for a couple of months, I've done 2 or 3 courses simultaneously because that was an opportunity to learn from some of the stalwarts in the subject. My thesis, as I said, my advisor was Dr. Eileen Harris. The project of my thesis was the designing a professionalism curriculum for residents at Rajiv Gandhi University. In 2004, 3-4, that was a hot topic. Professionalism was a very hot topic in US also. And that's the reason I took this topic. Also, the major, I think, takeaway thing that I learned from this is that other than more than teaching, learning, the curriculum design, what I had developed here was based on 3 different approaches. One was our traditional systems approach, which is by Kern, which talks about aligning the educational objectives, teaching, learning methods, then the assessment, program evaluation, etc. The second and the third approaches, which we combined all these 3 together to have a new model altogether. And these 2 ones have been espoused by Dr. Eileen Harris herself. One is a deliberative inquiry approach where the curriculum is developed after deliberative inquiry, group deliberative inquiries, discussions. And the third approach is a reconstructivist approach where basically it emphasizes looking at the hidden curriculum, the cultural, political, economic aspects of the curriculum in which of the milieu in which the curriculum is going to be implemented. So all these 3 approaches were combined together to present the new model of curriculum professionalism. During my stay at UIC and after that, because of the MHP, I was lucky enough to attend a few international conferences. In 2001, when I was a IFME fellow, we were asked to attend a AAMC conference, which was held at Washington, DC. And in 2004, it was at Boston. During the 2004 conference, I presented the student project that I had conducted. Then I had conducted another small research project with Dr. Mertek on using Q methodology, and that was presented at a conference in UK in 2006. Then I presented my thesis work at MHP Summer Conference at UIC. Along with two of my colleagues from Ramaya, we presented 3 papers at regional conference of professionalism at Singapore in 2006 again. And then I also attended the 3rd ceramic conference at Sri Lanka in 2014, where I gave a guest lecture too. Other than that, I've attended ceramic at Coimbatore also, but the rest of the conferences have been NCHP conferences in India itself. Now, post MHP, when I came back to Ramaya with great enthusiasm, wanted to do so many things, but there were challenges in implementing what I wanted to do. So then I focused mainly on medical education and in improving the medical education cell here. We started a journal club, we used to do it every month so that all of us were equally aware of what was happening in the field. Then the major project that I undertook after coming back was starting integrated teaching program. Now, again, in 2005-06, integrated teaching was not on the agenda of whether not MNC, now that it was MCI, nor was it really talked about anywhere else. But we started it very methodically, doing it, having regular meetings with pre and paraclinical faculty members, identifying the cases and the questions where which can be used for these integrated teaching thing. The students were then divided into smaller groups. They worked on those questions of the cases. They consulted the faculty, consulted the library, and then did the presentation of the questions or cases in the classroom. It was mainly the student presentation, the discussion by the students. The faculty members were there available for any clarification or if required. But it was mainly a very interactive, very student-driven program that was being conducted. Each session, initially we conducted these sessions twice in a month, but then realized that it is taxing both the faculty and the students a little too much. We shifted it to once a month. And each session was started with a MCQ test on the previous session, and these marks were counted as part of the internal assessment marks. So the students did take these sessions very seriously. The faculty members also were quite interested, and unfortunately, the only thing that we didn't plan and we didn't do was to take a feedback either from the students or from the faculty members. But the way the things were carried out, it was really beneficial for both the students and the faculty members. During this period, we also organized a workshop for revision of the MBBS curriculum on behalf of Department of Health and Family Welfare, where Dr. Anand Narayan was the head then, and he requested us to conduct this in Ramaya. This was in February-March 2007, and this was followed by the first international conference of medical education in March 2007. After this, I think in July or August somewhere, the first NCH, it wasn't called NCHP then, that the first conference, national conference was held up after this. Then there was a gap of 2 years where I was away from Ramaya. I was involved in teaching clinical research by then. And then again in 2010, I came back to Ramaya as the head of the quality assurance department. Now, where this was a great idea by our chairman to bring in, he wanted to ensure that there is a quality in all aspects of teaching, learning, assessment, etc., in all the health related colleges. So we had this department where faculty members from medicine, dentistry, nursing, physiotherapy, and pharmacy, they all came under the quality assurance unit. And this was a purely participatory leadership program where the leaders from each of these institutions formed a core group. We worked to establish quality assurance and quality improvement processes and systems. Sorry. Excuse me. While trying to bring in quality assurance and quality improvement processes, we tried to follow the appreciative inquiry model so that we could build upon what was already existing and what was already working well with the institutions, so that the other faculty could follow this. And instead of trying to find a problem and trying to fix it up, we worked on the appreciative inquiry model. And I also worked on the transformational leadership model here again, where there was a one-to-one consultation. We had academic discussions, intense discussions weekly. We tried to bring out good manuals for patient communication in dental college, patient safety modules, and then we try to inspire them also to do their best. So this quality assurance experience of 3 years really helped me a lot, and I'm sure helped the other institutions also to gear up for the NAC accreditation that followed in medical college as well as in the other institutions. Now, after 2013, during this period when the quality assurance unit was working quite well, Ramaya decided to start Ramaya University of Applied Sciences, and two of the major units, that is pharmacy and dentistry, were moved to the university. So that was the reason then the unit was dissolved, and I was asked to take over as a director of medical education at the International Medical School, MSU, which was on the same campus. This was in association with the Management Science University of Malaysia. So the curriculum which was followed was that of the MSU. Initially, when we started the program in 2006, that time also I was involved in it, though I wasn't in the International Medical School. I was involved initially too, but I officially joined in 2013. Before that, I was involved in developing their accreditation documents and training the faculty. I had a opportunity to go to Malaysia also to train their faculty and to prepare the accreditation documents at MSU Malaysia. Now, the greatest advantage of working at the International Medical School is that the Malaysian Medical Council, MQA, which comes as for the accreditation of these colleges follows the WFME standards. And because they follow the WFME standards, the documentation, the processes, everything was so different as compared to MCA. And it was really a very interesting thing to learn new things and then apply many of the things which I had learned during my master's program. And that's where I could implement a lot of new teaching learning methods such as flipped classroom, TBL, PBL, way back from 2010-11 only we had started doing this then. One of the major activities that we conducted, I conducted at International Medical School was the faculty development programs. Now this International Medical School was had two hospitals which were affiliated to it for students' postings, which were not under Ramaya. And so the faculty was not actually a teaching faculty. So they had to be primed for teaching and not teaching the way they had studied, The teaching, learning, the evaluation, the assessment methods were entirely different. So we had regular faculty development programs right from teaching them how to write lesson plans, how to create blueprints, table of specifications for each examination, writing of the question papers, because the question paper model in IMS was that of writing MEQs, which were purely based on clinical vignettes, SEQs, MCQs also of the higher order, because they had 60 marks MCQs. So all those really kept me busy throughout conducting the faculty development programs there, reviewing. That was another requirement by IMS, that it had to be whatever they were preparing, the documents had to be reviewed by medical education unit and feedback given to them on a day-to-day basis. Now, clinical postings in IMS were block postings. It's a 5-year program, and first 2 years of pre and paraclinical, and then there were 3 years of block postings. So every month or the two, there used to be exams where we had to look at their question papers, the clinical OSCE stations, the clinical examinations, etc. And then document all this in the proper way. So some of the interesting documents that we prepared were first, as I said, the course specification, where mapping of CO to PO to PEO, which now because of the new accreditation we are all familiar with, but this was quite a new thing when we started way back in 2009-10. Also talk about student learning time, that is SLT, and how to calculate it and how to write it. For assessment, as I said, we were preparing the blueprint for OSCE stations as well as table of specification for theory, where each CLO was mapped, or each topic was mapped against the CLO, and the level of question was mapped against the Bloom's taxonomy. So these details really helped us set up a good question paper at that time. Now, the other portfolios that we maintained, and that was again a new thing for all the faculty members here, was the mentoring portfolios, where the students had to be mentored on a regular basis, a portfolio maintained, or also the teachers had to maintain their teaching portfolio and the personal portfolio of their achievements. Of course, other than that, there were a lot of feedbacks which were coming regularly. There were 5 types of student feedbacks which were obtained every semester. There was a feedback from the faculty, feedback from the higher ups also. So all those went into accreditation document. We had 3 cycles of accreditation when I was associated with IMS MSU, one in 2011, 16, and then 21. So every time they got a complete 5 years accreditation by MQA. During this time, we also had an opportunity to prepare a roadmap for establishing a medical college at for Dopar University, Oman. And we prepared the curriculum as per their requirement and submitted to them so that they could take it forward and establish a medical school there. So from the time I started MEC in 1997, I was invited as a guest faculty to conduct workshops at a number of places for medical colleges. I also conducted workshops for during NCHP conferences, then as a faculty, invited as a guest faculty for MSc-HP program, which was there at MUHS Nasik for 2 years. And then now currently I'm also associated with Balaji Vidyapeeth for their master's program. Other than the medical faculty, I was also invited as resource faculty for dental and physiotherapy. As you can see in the photo on the right side, you can see with Dr. Pushpanjali. I was fortunate enough to conduct quite a few dental programs or dental faculty development programs throughout India, along with Dr. Pushpanjali. Also physiotherapy programs here. Now, a little bit about my work would not be as a faculty, guest faculty, would not be complete without mentioning my association, a close association with PhD Famer, Coimbatore. We started in 2007, as you can see in the left side where I'm sitting with Dr. Rita Sood. That was the first session that was conducted. You can see Dr. Thomas and Dr. Bill Burdick at the back also. Initially, the programs used to be for 10 days when we were staying in PhD for complete 10 days. And that was the best time that we spent together. I had very fond memories of Dr. Rita during that period. We used to go out for morning walks every day, had good discussions about the sessions in the evenings. I think 2011 was the last time I was there with her at PhD. I continued to be the PhD faculty as of date, and it's been a great journey so far. I was associated, I did go to CMC Vellore, CMC Ludhiana as a faculty member for 1 or 2 programs, and after that, I've continued with PhD so far. Another very satisfying experience that I had was that of mentoring. I had many mentees from medical college, from dental faculty, and from physiotherapy faculty who were very enthusiastic. And this has got a cascading effect now, not only from our college, even external members, I was able to mentor them. And you can see that so many of them have taken up further studies where have been selected in Philadelphia Famer at regional institutes and have pursued their interest further. Here you can see on the left side dental faculty, of which Dr. Pushpanjali and Dr. Lata were 2 of the faculty who were selected at Philadelphia Famer, Philadelphia program. And Dr. Shivaranjani was selected at PhD Coimbatore. And the whole group had conducted the first dental health profession education program conference in 2013, and this was followed by the next conference, which was conducted by Dr. Anjana Bagewadi, who is shown on the right-hand side picture, the rightmost person. I'm sure you all recognize Dr. Jyoti Nagmoti, now who is the controller of examiners at JNMC. KLE University, sorry. So they conducted the second conference of dental health education in Belgaum. So my mentees have been expanding, and I'm so glad to be part of their, they're still in a good touch with me. Now came another shift in my career, that was to be associated with Ramaya University of Applied Sciences. In 2016, when I was still working with IMS, Gokula Education Foundation, which runs the Ramaya institutions, decided to start allied health science programs at the university, and then I was asked to start the writing, preparing the curriculum. So me and Associate Dean Dr. Sudha at that time, we did a thorough market survey and did some consultation with the stakeholders and narrowed down on about 6 programs where we developed the curriculum for these programs. And my experience of writing or designing a curriculum for my MHP thesis came in handy here. And based on that, that's how we developed the curriculum. And also implemented these curricula. So in 2018, when the programs were to start, I was asked to take over as head of the Department of Allied Health Sciences. As this was again, I was told that I would be mainly looking at the medical education and the quality of it, I accepted the challenge. Again, I made sure that their session notes, which were, because all the faculty was new, these session notes were reviewed and encouraged them to go beyond what was stipulated in the curriculum. Also, one of the important parts or one of the important sections of assessment was assignments there. And it was observed that these assignments were not of really good quality or a higher order. So I started reviewing these assignments and making sure that they stimulated critical thinking and were of higher order rather than just where students could cut, copy and paste there. And then assessment. Assessment, again, MCQs was a part of the assessment where it was mainly looked at as a means to give marks to the students. But then again, we shifted the gear and made sure that the MCQs were set up so that the students learned the subject and not just got the marks for passing. And then the question paper was also set up at the ratio of 50 to 30 to 20 rule, saying that 50% of the questions should be where all the students should be able to answer, 30 should be of a higher level, and 20 should be for the outstanding students. Things were going on smoothly, and then came the pandemic. That again gave us an opportunity to implement maybe what I had learned in the online courses at MHP, where we had to start the emergency remote teaching for the students. Not only teaching, we also had to implement e-assessment, ensuring that there wasn't cheating, the students were monitored properly. So all these were great challenges, which I think I was able to face them or maybe overcome them very easily because of my earlier experience with taking online courses. And that brings me to the final association now, that is with MU India. As Dr. Sanjay Bedi so nicely said, I started taking some online courses, and some of the courses where I'm actively involved is in accreditation. Some of you have taken these courses. Then MERP course, where we talked about medical education, research and publication. And course on using standardized patients or training standardized patients to do the clinical teaching and assessment. And I'm actively involved was actively involved with preparation of this MERP book, where I've authored three chapters, as well as actively involved as a editorial board member. So with all my experience of maybe almost 38 years or so in medical education, the take-home message for the younger generation would be to never stop learning. Medical education is one field, especially in India and in our establishment with the new CBME curricula. It's a lifelong learning. You need to be a lifelong learner, keep abreast with the whatever is happening in the field. The second take-home message is, whatever you're doing, do it collaboratively, do it in association with your own faculty members from your institution, from outside the institution, so that whatever you're doing gets published, publish it. Because whatever you do, unless it is published, unless it is accepted, it becomes a scholarly publication, it doesn't have much value. And with now NMC also accepting the medical education publications, it's all the more reason that you collaborate with people and produce scholarly articles which are not only published, but they give certain weightage, or they give a substance and a direction to the studies in our Indian scenario. And of course, do a lot of mentoring. You need to generate you need to stimulate the younger generation into taking up in medical education. So that has been my learning throughout, and I hope you will take this forward, especially collaboration and publication, because there are now with the CBME, we need authentic, say, publications or authentic proof that of the things which are working and which are not working. So do that, and I'm sure all of you will be highly successful. So this has been my journey so far in medical education, and I hope to continue collaborating with some of you or who are interested in continuing my journey further. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Medha,
I was audible, right?
for sharing an inspiring long journey that should motivate a lot of people.
Thank you.
Can I request Dr. Sanjay Bedi to please present the certificates of oration as well as lifetime achievement to Dr. Medha Joshi?
It was a very inspiring lecture, ma'am, and we are honored to present to you the Vita Sood Memorial Oration for this lecture, and for your lifetime achievement award. It's amazing. I mean, the kind of energy, and still I have seen the kind of energy you bring to your courses. I mean, still you go into such a deep detail. You are quite, you can say, proactive in doing things, sometimes prodding me to do things. And I'm sitting idle and you prod me to do this course, etc. So, I mean, very, very grateful to you for this lecture. and we are honored to present you with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Though we know you will be doing many things still to go. Maybe after another 10 years, and a second Lifetime Achievement Award will have to be given.
Yeah, आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर. Thank you so much, Dr. Sanjay, for and Dr. Tejinder for your nice words. I'll be very happy if few of the people get inspired and continue their journey in medical education. Thanks a lot, and thank you for honoring me with these 2 awards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, and good night, everyone.
Good night.